So I do not typically put out videos that are reviewing movies or anything like that. But for some reason, I felt, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it would be fun to do this maybe every once in a while, or yeah, if it's something that seems interesting, I could do it about other movies, or I could take requests, things like that. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'll take it as I go. But last night, my wife and I went and saw Oppenheimer. If you haven't heard about this movie, maybe you don't own a television or have internet access, or you just were born. But Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan's latest film, and Christopher Nolan he is one of my favorite directors, and there's just, when you're watching a Christopher Nolan movie immediately, going all the way back to, Memento, it feels like Christopher Nolan. You're in his world of time and love and just the human experience, I guess. And he's done it in so many different ways, from obviously the Christian Bale Batman, Inception, to Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, and then fast forwarding to now, Cillian Murphy, and this unbelievable cast of actors that make up this film, Oppenheimer, and of course the DP, Hoyte van Hoytema. I hope I'm saying that correctly. That guy is unbelievable. I mean, I'm a huge Emmanuel Lubezki fan. I think that Hoytema is right behind Lubezki, and obviously I'm not leaving out Roger Deakins and other names, but for me personally, Lubezki has been a huge influence. Anyway, let's dial it back down to the film. So first and foremost, if you haven't seen the film, go see it. Spoilers are not really a thing because this is a true story, so you could look these things up anywhere you want. Cillian Murphy plays Robert J. Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, and I didn't really know a lot about him at all. And I think because this film was written in first person, which is pretty rare, I think it did exactly what Christopher Nolan wanted it to do, and it was to live through Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer character and really experience it from his perspective. So that they knocked out of the park from minute one to the very end, the 3 hours that the film is. So also 3 hours, it could have been a longer film. Honestly, it was just so incredible. The sound design was just so well done. Obviously, everybody's talking about the constant, struggles that Christopher Nolan films have with the audio, and the dialogue is hard to understand. I can understand that, but that's his style, and this is how he wants to portray, the world that he's creating. So I'm not really gonna, talk down about anything in this film because the story was told perfectly. The layers of how we went back and forth between timelines, using black and white for, future tense with Strauss, played by Robert Downey Jr. And it just, the film was unbelievable. I highly recommend it. I did not see it in IMAX. We saw it at the Dolby Digital 5.1, whatever, the special theater. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to give away the sound design, the bomb, the Trinity test, all of that. It is unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible. And the only thing I can really go off of the sound design for this film is Interstellar. And if you got to see Interstellar in IMAX or in a theater like a Dolby Digital theater, it's similar to that, and it's even crazier. If you can imagine, if you remember Interstellar, when the ship is taking off, I can remember being in the IMAX theater at the Smithsonian in DC and just like being engulfed in this film, and also deafening and not being able to even hear anything going on besides the ship taking off. And this film does that tenfold. So if you're really sensitive to very, very loud sounds, you're definitely not going to go see this movie. But I recommend seeing it in the theater, because at home, unless you have a theater set up, a basement, some kind of perfect audio configuration, it's never going to be the same as it is in the theater. It just can't be. It felt like the seats were going to fall off, the chair was going to come apart. It was intense. So Oppenheimer, 5 stars, 10 out of 10. A+, whatever grade you want to give it. If you've been watching this, let me know down below if this is something interesting. Give me some movie recommendations. It could be, I've seen a lot of movies. Actually, I'm going to put a link below to my Letterboxd profile, so you can see, all the movies obviously I've watched and I've rated, but we can connect on there as well. You could let me know down below, what you think, if this is something that's interesting, me just kind of chit-chatting about a film. I know that I tend to, I'm not setting up a script or having any kind of specific thing to talk about. I'll sort of go, into the film a little bit, and also into the production and what I kind of saw as a quote-unquote filmmaker, artist, and how I kind of viewed whatever was happening. And so, yeah, that's it. Okay, go watch Oppenheimer, and okay, yeah.